Good morning. So it is a beautiful day in the garden. I'm getting out here early because I got a couple tasks to do, just those garden chores for the weekend. So first up is a little tomato harvest. A lot of my tomatoes are ripening in here and I just want to get some out, make some stew, So the first thing I'm going to do is clean down my shears with some alcohol. Oh man, I'm clumsy. I feel like as I get older, I get clumsier. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. I used to be graceful when I was young and I'm not anymore. So now these shears are all cleaned down. I've got a bucket in here just for the harvest. Put the tomatoes in. I'm just gonna go in and I'm just gonna clip on the vine actually so that I don't, mess up any of the other tomatoes that are in here. Hopefully alcohol doesn't do anything to tomatoes. I'm gonna go rinse this. Yeah. The clumsiness strikes again. But all in all, I had a pretty good tomato harvest. I've got probably about 12 here that are workable. And there were about 5 that were either had blossom and rot or that I accidentally knocked off while they were still green. So we've been having a drought here. I live on the East Coast, so that's unusual. The temperatures have been in the high 90s for a few weeks and we haven't been getting rain. And so these are on drip, but when I first started watering these, I was watering these by hand really thoroughly every morning. And so when I switched over to drip, it's still getting watered thoroughly, but the drip emitters are only once every 18 inches. So it doesn't drench the bed in the same way it does when you hand water. So I think the fluctuations in water gave me some blossom and rot, but I still had a pretty good harvest. So there's 1 or 2 habaneros that are ready, but I'm just going to leave them on the vine. I've heard that the vine is the best refrigerator. So I'm going to leave those until more are ready. But these carrots, some of them are looking ready. I unfortunately cannot remember the exact date that I planted these, that I put the seeds in the ground, but I'm going to try to check and see if they're ready by just digging out a little bit of the soil around the crown of the plant. And that way I'll be able to see the color and size of the carrot. And then I'll figure out if I want to take it up. So as you can see, the crown of this plant, it looks like it's a good sized carrot, probably about 1 inch thick. Could be a little bigger, but looks pretty good. And I just want to see this carrot, so I think I'm going to take it out. It's got some orange color, so yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to dig it out a little bit. Jiggle it and pull it out. Ah, now I remember that these are short little carrots. Now that's a pretty carrot, right? Probably could have left that one a little longer, but baby carrots work. And apparently you can eat carrot greens. Who knew? I'd say I got a pretty good harvest. I mean, this is a regular old, smegular old Saturday morning in the city, and I got all this. So next up, I gotta check in on these potato seedlings. As you can see, they are doing really, really, really great. But we gotta take some of these seedlings out. So if you remember, in this particular mound, there are 4 seedlings for the blue pumpkins. You put in a lot of seedlings because you want to make sure that they're going to germinate. These obviously germinated really well. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. But you can't leave all those seedlings because the plants will be choking each other out for the nutrients. So now that we've got these seedlings, we've got to thin them and just leave the strongest plant there to grow and take all the nutrients from the soil below. This one is one of the smaller ones, so I'm going to take it out. This one's also pretty small. And then between the two of these, this one's obviously the biggest, so it wins. It wins. And now we're left with just one. So to fertilize these pumpkins today, I'm going to be using Garden Tone, and this is a granular fertilizer that is a slow release. It basically releases and dissolves slowly into the soil to give your plants nutrients over time. I'm just going to follow the instructions on here, which is 3 tablespoons per plant. And I'm just going to work that into the soil at the base of the plant. Yeah, just to feed these guys because, you know, I need that pumpkin to come through. And I'm sure that pumpkin needs a lot of nutrients. I'm going to do the same thing here and thin out the extra plants. There's 3 in each of these mounds, so I'll be thinning out 2. And the reason I go in and thin them out instead of pulling them is because I don't want to disrupt the roots of the plant that is still staying in the ground. So the next task on my list is cleaning up this yarrow. As you can see, a lot of the blooms are spent. I'm just going to deadhead it so that it puts out new blooms. There's 2 ways to do this. One is to go in and clean it up stem by stem. I only have 2 plants, so I think that's the approach I'm going to take because it's not going to take much time. But if you do have a ton of these, I think people just go in, grab a big chunk, and just cut that off altogether. So my second yarrow plant is not as bad as the first. It's got a few spent blooms, but I'm going to take those spent ones out and leave the ones that still look nice. Thank you guys for coming out with me today. Just a little chore, a chore Saturday. I'm going to do some more watering, but I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.